Hey everyone, the numbers are in for Breakfast Point for the first quarter of 2023. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, working in the virtual office. Actually, I'm on the back porch here in Breakfast Point, but don't tell anyone. Our MLS system, our Realtor MLS system, has made some pretty substantial upgrades recently, and we have access to a lot more specific data than we even did before. So I have a couple things to show you to give you some numbers to really maybe get a deeper understanding of what is happening in the housing market right now. And then also talk about pricing in the first quarter and a couple of trends I want to watch as we move into the rest of the spring selling season. So let's get right into it. Overall, this is a search based off of homes from 450 to 700,000 across the beach. I don't want to compare homes more expensive, less expensive than Breakfast Point. So we'll start there. The number of sold listings is up. We were down in January to just under 40, about 42, 43 in February, about 75, 76 now in March. And if you look at this line or this chart, we really sold more homes in March than we did more than any time in the last few years, going back to December of 2020. Only April, May of 2022 did we actually have more closings. So it's not really widely reported. I think a lot of people are down on the housing market generally. It's a lot of national news about it. March was a good month for sales in this price range in Panama City Beach. Price trends, I think this is somewhat encouraging. If you look at this, somewhat flat, but generally moving up. We had some price depreciation generally in January to February. That's picked back up a little bit in March. Some of the activity is helping with that. One number we agents like to track is the sale price or asking price to sale price ratio, meaning how much did someone put their house on the market for and what did it finally sell for? It's a good barometer of the market. We're sitting at a very good 97.5% right now, meaning most owners on average are only having to negotiate about 2.5% off of their asking price to get something done. The original sale price to list price ratio, always a little lower. That's at about 94.9%, meaning that takes into account any reductions. So what was the original ask before any price reductions? But still, very, very good, healthy numbers for the market. Days on market has crept up significantly since June of last year. Not surprising, because if you remember how the interest rates really spiked middle of last year, that put the brakes on the market. We were selling things very, very quickly, started to slow things down a little bit, but we're still sitting under 80 days on average. Traditionally in real estate, in a neutral, normal market, 100 to 110 days on the market, meaning how long a house stays on the market before it sells, is a pretty normal average number. We're still underneath that. So it's, to me, another encouraging sign. And this one is the most interesting. You guys know, if you watch any of these videos, I'm a big months of inventory guy. Look at the months of inventory numbers just since January. We were a little over 5, maybe 5.25 in January. We've come all the way down to 2.4 months of inventory. Now, remember, theoretically, this means it would take us 2.4 months to sell out of all the homes in the market in this price range. That's a very good, healthy market. It's really seller market territory. So a lot of mixed messages in the market right now. You know, if you look at some national news and national reporting talking about housing crisis and housing numbers down, if you look at just in this price range, pardon me, of what happened in the month of March, we're at there's a lot of very good things happening in the market. Now, speaking of mixed messages, though, let's look at Breakfast Point specifically, and then I'll get to my mixed messages part. This is just Breakfast Point. We had 5 sales in the month of March. Price trends had been moving up slightly. They pulled down a little bit in March. The asking price to sales price ratio is a very good number in Breakfast Point. There generally hasn't been a ton of negotiating. A lot of this, pardon me, a lot of this is coming from the builders, though. We have so much new construction in here that the price they put in the MLS has already been negotiated. So probably next month what I'll do is I'll run this chart and show you just the resales to see how much negotiating we're doing. In fact, I can do a version of that really quickly for you. So if I just take out the resale number, we're still at 98.4%, 98%. So some negotiating happening. Not a ton though, when you compare it to the rest of the market. Days on market and Breakfast Point, this also is a little misleading. We're up at 100 days right now, but again, builders will put their homes on the market for sale before they're finished. If I look at only resales, the days on the market number is 87 days, 30 days. It is a little high on one that happened recently, so similar range. Let me get back to Breakfast Point. Months of inventory number. Again, like most of the market, still very good in Breakfast Point, 2.2. Again, a little bit skewed because of the builders, but 2.2 is still a very good, healthy seller's market. If I look at just resales, months of inventory, again, is still very, very good. Now, one thing I want to point out, this is my mixed messages in the market. So we have a very healthy pace of the market. We did see some slight depreciation to get some deals done in Breakfast Point just in the month of March. But part of that sold median price coming down is all the new construction, especially in Breakfast Point East. Breakfast Point East, it has some lower price points than the rest of the neighborhood. And that's going to affect the sold median price for the entire neighborhood. And one thing I want to point out here, here's everything that happened in the first quarter. 39 results. If anything is orange right here, that means there's a sale pending. It hasn't closed yet. This number is the asking price on any of these sales pending. Otherwise, they're all sold. But the first thing, before I go into these specifically, look at this. Look at the year built, 2022, 2023. On these 39 listings, there's some activity on a home in 2017. There's one built in 2013. There's one built in 2019. One in 2016. The lion's share of the activity, not surprising because of the volume that's being built, but the lion's share of the activity is in the new construction. A couple of things we have to think about, and I'll go through pricing in a second, but a couple of things we have to think about, especially if we're selling resales. I'm getting ready to go sign some paperwork as soon as I stop this video. We have to start thinking creatively in marketing like the way the builders do it. Builders will offer buyer incentives, use this lender, and we'll give you X amount of dollars towards closing costs. Closing costs that sellers are already paying on general resales. Mortgage rate buy downs is a popular one right now. A seller can pay some money and buy down the interest rate of the buyer. This is a very, very hot one right now. So we have to start getting creative. Not only does the marketing have to be great, not only do we have to get the marketing right and then distribute the marketing, we can't just have some pretty photos and be on an MLS system. We have to be running social ads, YouTube ads, email marketing, direct mail marketing. All those things are important because the market is much more difficult than it used to be. But we also have to get creative in the offering. So I really wanted to point that out just because of the volume that the new construction is doing. We also have to take into account that we have a couple new neighborhoods we're competing with now. Ward Creek over on Highway 79 is selling homes as soon as they offer them for sale, they're going under contract. That is starting to get a lot of momentum over there. The more momentum a neighborhood gets, it's like anything. It's like a snowball. You pick up some momentum and you pick up a lot of momentum. So right now, I feel like Breakfast Point has a little more competition than we've had in a very long time. So again, we have to get creative with the offering. Back to real estate fundamentals, that we have to have things in great condition. Just the distribution of the marketing has to be excellent. All these things to combat what is going on in all this new construction. So some of the pricing really quickly for you. You can pause the video if you want to digest it a little more. 449,000 smaller 3-2 over in still over in Breakfast Point. One of the new sections, 1,669 square feet. Over in Breakfast Point East, you have some numbers between 449 and 463 that have closed. I'll scroll this for you. You can pause the video if you want to take a look. Also, I know a lot of you are already on our e-alert system. Plenty of you probably have seen these already. For those of you who don't know, we have a system that ties right into our MLS system. So it's very, very accurate. And we can set you up to receive information anytime a house goes on the market, anytime it goes under contract or there's a sale pending, or most importantly, I think, anytime something sells. So you can get the accurate sales price and the accurate closing date. And if you really want to keep up with it, we can set the system so that you receive it anytime something happens. If you just want to check on it every week or so, every month or so, we can set it up that way. So one of the best ways I know for you to have all the information, not just the information that someone tells you, but everything that's happening, is to get on that e-alert system. Let me know if you want to sign up for it. Just shoot me a text. My number is 850-527-0221. We'll get you on the system. Just let me know how often you want it. Do you want it every time something happens? You get a little more email that way. If you only want it once a week or once a month, let me know. It'll batch everything together and you can just have a nice report of everything that's happened in the neighborhood. So let me know if you want that. Again, if you know anybody that still wants to be on our email list, receive these videos once a month, let me know. I'm only sending email out to the people who have asked for it. Again, I hope you guys found this helpful. My name is Craig Duran with the Duran Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, living here in Breakfast Point. Thanks for watching.